Hello, thrill seekers. Welcome to another Woden's Day. Let's go to the United States of America. And a weird couple of charts here. 1984 and 2009. Median net worth of the peeps. Now, the younger peeps, 35 years old and younger in red, and the old peeps, 65 years and older. So, in 1984, the young peeps' median net worth, that's net worth, take off debt from your assets, was 11,521. And the old peeps had $120,000 stashed away as net worth. Move on to 2010, and these dollars are in 2010 dollars, inflation adjusted. The young peeps are down to $3,500, down from $11,500 that they were at in 1984, and the old peeps are up to $170,000 net worth. Inflation adjusted, all that. Young, 35 years and younger, and 65 years and older in blue. The olders have done very well. The youngers are doing badly. It might be worth pausing and having a good look at that for some people and pondering. But I'll move on. Personal savings rate is a percentage of disposable personal income, standard thing. Calculated risk chart. You can see going back all the way to 1959 where people used to save, but we know that from the 80s it came all the way down to nearly zero. Well, 2% there. The Great Recession sent it back up to 6%, and it's coming down again. And the question is it coming down again because people are getting to be more confident of spending all their money, or are they spending it due to desperation? That's what we need to know. Right. This is from Business Insider, and yeah, it's number 3, so it comes in different bits. So I shall read, because this is going to happen, but it's a question of how it's going to happen in the States. Nobody wants much to think about it yet, but it's well understood by everyone in Washington and on Wall Street that a potentially massive fiscal problem is looming for the economy next year. The issue is divided into 3 parts. Now, these are coming. Right. Sometime in late 2012, that's this year, or early 2013, Congress will have to approve another debt ceiling hike. Yes, that game again. Right, number 2. At the same time, all of the Bush tax cuts are set to expire, not just the tax cuts for the rich. All of them are set to expire. The third, thanks to the last debt ceiling deal, some big-time spending cuts are due to go into effect starting in 2013. In theory, these could be reversed by Congress, but in the context of everything else, it will be challenging. It's going to be one hell of a stupid fest again in Congress. Moving on. New York Times, Washington, the Supreme Court, God bless them, ruled on Monday 5-4 that officials may strip search people arrested for any offence, however minor, before admitting them to jails, even if the officials have no reason to suspect the presence of contraband. Justice Anthony Kennedy, who's the swing voter on the Supreme Court, you've got the mad right-wing twits and the mad left-wing twits, he's normally in the middle, but this time he's gone twitty himself. Justice Anthony Kennedy, joined by the court's conservative wing, wrote that courts are in no position to second-guess the judgments of correctional officials who must consider not only the possibility of smuggled weapons and drugs, but also public health and information about gang affiliations. Spot every single bodily tattoo. About 13 million people are admitted each year to the nation's jails. 13 million, Justice Kennedy wrote under Monday's ruling. He wrote, this is Kennedy, every detainee who will be admitted to the general population, that's the general population of being in jail, may be required to undergo a close visual inspection while undressed. Right at the top again, however minor, for any offence, however minor, before being admitted to jail. God bless America. Right, let's go to Turkey. Drug smuggling to Turkey, what was that film? Can't remember. Istanbul, the Turkish government faced a bloated current account deficit that threatens to derail the country's rapid expansion. It is trying to persuade Turks to transfer their vast personal fortune of gold into the country's banking system. The push to tap into the individual gold reserves, the traditional form of savings here, is part of Ankara's efforts to reduce a financial gap that is currently about 10% of GDP. Government officials say the banking regulators will soon publish a plan to boost incentives for customers to park their household wealth inside the financial system. Banking executives said they are considering new interest-yielding gold deposit accounts that would allow savers to withdraw gold bars from specially designed automated teller machines. Bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Right. The yen's looming day of reckoning. Now this is Andy Xi, who you've got to take seriously. Japan looks set to depress the value of the yen to boost trade. How China must brace itself for the impact. Japan is on an unsustainable path of a strong yen and deflation. The unprofitability of Japan's major exporters and emerging trade deficits suggests that the end of this path is in sight. The transition from a strong to weak yen will likely be abrupt, involving a sudden and big devalue of 30 to 40%. It will be a big shock to Japan's neighbours and distant competitors like Germany. The yen's devaluation in 1996 was a main factor in triggering the Asian financial crisis. Japan's neighbours must have a strong banking system to withstand a bigger devaluation of the yen. Still waiting to go bang in Japan. This chart, number 7 link, is from the Financial Times. It's India's balance of payments. Do you remember in those balance of payments, there was countries like Australia that it was down in the bottom 10. We thought, why is Australia down there? Turkey was down there, and India was down there, and this is why. It's hard to read along the bottom, but this goes back to 1950, and it started going negative in about 2002, and it's absolutely plummeting down. A lot of stuff going into India and not compensating enough going out. India and the Eurozone, a complete mess. Link number 8. What's India and the Eurozone got in common? Well, they're both a complete mess. I won't read the thing about India, but you can pause and read it. It says that India is a complete mess, and, of course, the Eurozone is a complete mess that you can read if you follow the link. Going to the Eurozone and the youth unemployment. We had this chart a couple of months ago, but Scotty Barber at Reuters has updated it, and Spain and Greece's youth unemployment under 25-year-olds has just pushed further upwards and are both hanging on the 50%. Half of the youth of Spain and Greece are unemployed, and the rest of the countries mostly all pushing up as well. There's a slight pushing down in France, but it's down 1 or 2%, and that's only down from 22% to 21%. Germany is still completely cut off from everybody else, down below 10% and getting better. You think, well, good for Germany, but really, when you're in a club with everybody else that's going rotten, it's not good to have 1 or 2 countries that are doing so much better. It just isn't good balance. I'll finish with this one paragraph from Ambrose Evans Pritchard's latest in the Telegraph. Pro-EU sentiment has recovered in Germany to 57% from the nadir, which is the bottom point, of 40% last year. Anti-Greek fury has subsided. Should we do the accent? Yeah. No, it's not written properly, so I'll have to read it in English first. We have reached, just one have. We have reached a decision that Europe remains a collective wisdom for our country. Said, this is German. That's German. The rules of the politics is to be generous, she said. Well, she's a good German Fräulein, yeah. Germany, is she saying this? Or anyway, let's say she's saying it because it's German. Germany will have an aging crisis and 3 million Alzheimer's patients within 3 years. The Germans themselves will soon need Europe's help as history plays its trick. They'll be bloody lucky if Germany thinks they're ever going to get anything back off the others. They have to pay and pay. How long have I been saying this? How long has everyone been saying this? Germany has to pay for everybody else, or it explodes. And that was, what have we had today? The whole of the world, it's in a shocking state, really. It really is in a shocking state. But we know that. Woden's Day out.